Murder style, y'all.
Insanity, insanity, whatever happened to humanity?
Anyway, To Love Ru is an anime series that has been produced by Zebek and directed by Takeo Kato. The story of To Love Ru revolves around Rito Yuki, a shy and clumsy high school student who cannot confess his true feelings to the girl of his dreams, Haruna Serenji. One day, while he is sulking in a bathtub, a mysterious naked girl with a devil tail appears out of nowhere. I thought this anime was pretty good. Now, thanks to Deluxe Goose, she has sent me the whole complete set of To Love Ru. The To Love Ru series, the To Love Ru motto or moto, I guess it depends on your vocabulary, but that's what it says. And then the two series, which is called the To Love Ru Darkness Part 1 and Part 2. I'll put the photos up top just in case if I'm saying it wrong. But I'm reviewing the first part of the To Love series. Now, the reason why she sent me this is because she claims that I've been reviewing too many old animes based on the 90s into the early and late 80s. And she's saying there's not too much ecchi anime that I need to review to boost my ratings up. And I agree. And it's not because I don't want to review these animes or I think that these animes is too far-fetched when it comes to the animes, to the anime viewers' eyes. I've been scared to review them because my material and my criticism when it comes to me scoring and rating these reviews and these animes and stuff has been a little bit too on a strict level. I have rated certain things that people love with a low score, but for good and valid reasons. So I guess I'm gonna have to take the turn of To Love Ru. But let's just say here, I'm not gonna go hard on this anime because why would I? Now this anime does have some rough edges, but at the same time I did enjoy this anime because I knew what I was getting myself into. The anime story is lackluster. I gotta get to the hard points first. We've been there and done that when it comes to the story, when it comes to the character being a high school kid, being a lame or being a nerd or being shy or just being too quiet, and then all of a sudden he magically get a girl of his dreams that just falls out of nowhere and falls in love with him, love at first sight, and everybody, including myself, begins to praise this kid like he's a god. Now look, I have been there and done that with animes like this. High School DxD done this, Tenchi Muyo has done this, Ama Buddha has done this, and the list goes on. I can't name all the animes off the bat, but I'm pretty sure people that's been into anime for so long can agree with me that there are a lot of animes that rips this story off. But let's just face it here. When we watch animes like this, we want to be in the shoes of the main protagonist. I mean, think about it. Just think about it. Who would you imagine that would come out of nowhere in your high school struggling days that would just love you and just fall in love with you, love at first sight? Me, I have one, and that is Leah Patterson. Yeah, Leah Patterson. Well, I actually got two. Leah Patterson in the anime perspective and Samantha Robinson in a realistic perspective. But the main focus of the anime of the strength is what can it deliver us that stands out with the other animes that has ripped and butchered this story from an oblivion. And it is done well with the creativity of what it's given me. I was still entertained, even though we have been there and done with the story. The anime picks up pretty quickly with the pacing, especially with the main protagonist, Rito Yuki himself. And that's what it matters. That's what makes the show strong, because by this character being in the middle of the whole series, I want to see how things was going to fall in place when it comes to the delivery of his character. How is he in high school? How is his character? And how is he towards women? Rito, unlike a lot of characters that can replicate this anime, he's actually a respectful character. I liked his character. In fact, in my high school days, I could relate to his character. Him being kind, him being a very memorable person when it comes to him being nice to people, being respectful, and just getting his job done and just taking care of people. he has a love interest, but at the same time, we begin to notice how shy he is towards this girl, and that is Haruna Sorenji. Now, unlike a lot of girls that you come across in this anime, you begin to like this girl. You begin to understand why Rito likes her so much, and at the same time, you begin to understand why he's shy upon her, because she stands out. She's like the golden egg, and it's two reasons why he is shy. One, because she's different from all the other girls. Number two, because of their past that they have went through together. So by him going through this past with her, it begins to make him question his authority of how she really feels towards Rito. Does she like him? And if she does, will he be able to accept his true feelings towards her? Or does she want to stay away from him? So we begin to hope and root for his character to build the courage to say what he needs to say to her. And there are times when he does this. But this is when the anime begins to give us so many 180s to him, where he tries to confess his feelings towards her, when he tries to overcome his fears, it say what he needs to say, but he gets run over by buses, he gets run over by cars, he gets hit by other people, he gets hit by balls, baseballs, you name it, he goes through it. And honestly, it was beginning to irritate me, because I hate when animes do this, not when it comes to them getting in the way of obstacles like this, but I just hate when people in animes try to confess certain things and they say, what the? Oh my god, is that? It can't be, it must be. I hate that with a passion. I hate that so much. Animes is known for doing this, and I feel like it needs to fucking stop. It needs to stop. And that's like one of the issues I have with this anime. Later on in the series, when Rito begins to doubt himself and he begins to question his authority, this is when we are introduced with Lala Satalin Devil Luke. She comes out of nowhere, literally. Pause. I can't take that back. She comes out of nowhere while he's busy bathing, and she confessed to him why she's there. She's escaping from space because people are looking for her, and she's just trying to look for different things. So she begins to like Rito. She begins to notice how kind-hearted Rito is. So it's basically love at first sight. And Rito basically doesn't want to have anything to do with her. And I get it, because he likes Haruna. So at the same time, we begin to get attached to Lala and Rito and Haruna, as it's a triangular situation. So I was trying to see how this was going to play out. Is Rito going to confess his true feelings towards Haruna, and then Lala begins to feel a certain way? Well, that's not the case here, because when Rito comes across Lala, he tries to get rid of her, and by doing so, he quickly tries to confess his feelings towards Haruna, and it builds up the courage for him to do so, because when he notices that there's another girl that likes him, it made him feel as if, okay, I need to say what I need to say before things get bad. And he does say what he needs to say, but it caught him off guard, because when he looked up as he confessed his true feelings towards Haruna, he looked up and then it was Lala standing right in front of him. So he is shocked that she was standing there, and she's like, oh my god, you really do feel this way about me? So that's when the anime starts, and then that's when things get crazy. I was bought into it, and after that part, and it was on the second episode, that's when things got even more intense. When Rito accidentally confessed his feelings towards Lala, that's when we begin to feel the more gravitation of Lala's character. As Rito begins to unfold his true feelings towards Haruna and tries to confess that it was a mistake, things begin to be overlappingly crazy in this anime. We begin to see the other side of things, and this is where the creativity comes to. This is where the anime comes strong. We begin to see how Haruna begins to feel towards Yuki, how she really likes him, and if she does like him. And let's just say here, this anime has done well when it comes to looking at female perspectives, seeing things in the eyes of a female, seeing things in an emotional aspect as a female. And a lot of animes don't do this. They like to focus on the aspects of how men approach women, how men sees women in their eyes. But in Haruna, they wanted us to look at the shoes of a feminist, a female, and I was bought into it. I wanted to see how Horner was going to react when Rito was around Lala, and how Lala was beginning to pursue Rito, going out on dates, doing things with each other, and just being around each other. And I'm gonna have to say, it's not like she was jealous, but it put her in a spot where she had to say something. She had to do something. She had to confess her feelings. And I thought it was great. I thought it was good. It made me like the character even more than I did when I first met her. Same thing with Lala. Now, when Lala appeared, I wanted to see more about her character, about her being in space, and just what was she running after. So they gave us that creativity of her character by giving us more aspects of space and where she came from, who her family members are, and just what do they do in outer space? What kind of foods do they eat? And how are things when it comes to them being in space, and how do they do things by law? Like there was an episode when she cooks and things was just wild and stuff like that. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, the food was beginning to come to life and stuff like that. When you have a character that's from outer space, everything falls out of whack. Like, you begin to be like, what the fuck? But this is an anime. And they begin to add a tentacle scene on here, which is what made me realize that this was an ecchi anime all over again. I was beginning to sweat a little bit, and I'm beginning to sweat now. That's the actual strength of the anime, is Lala's character and how things is when it comes to her delivery. But the anime's main strength is the exposure, the ecchi itself. Now, by Lala being in outer space, they decided to take a lot of alien tropes, a lot of abnormal things, and to put it into a sexual context gesture of just us being entertained, us being in a laughing, humoring gesture, and by us feeling uncomfortable. When you watch animes like this, you're gonna have to buckle down, especially when you're watching it with friends. I try to watch this stuff by myself, but sometimes people want me to watch it with them. There are a lot of things on here that you need to be prepared with, okay? Like, there are tentacles, like there are tentacle scenes on here. There are scenes where girls' clothes just fall apart and stuff, which is not really that shocking, but you got girls bumping heads with each other. And I don't mean heads, I mean heads down here. So it stands out. You gotta prepare yourself for that, and it gets even more heated. It gets even like, there's a reason why the Loose Goose sent me this anime. I wasn't ready for it, and the anime doesn't warn you. Like, when you see it, you begin to think that everything is all cool, but at the same time, it begins to go ballistically ecchi. Real talk. And I thought it was pretty nice. Overall, I enjoyed this anime. I knew what I was getting myself into when I let people know that I was going to review it. So I wasn't really in a shocking mind, but I was shocked of how much I enjoyed it, because I've been there and done that with the story. I've been there and done that with the premise. But what stood out was the creativity of how these characters was executed. How was the story executed? And overall, just the comedic aspects and them going all out, with me being entertained and me being intertwined with each of the characters, especially with Rito and Haruna. Lala, she was a character that I did like, but at the same time, I was more focused on Rito and Haruna. I felt like you can easily maneuver Lala because you have so much material here. But the main creative strength is by me seeing the main protagonist being a high schooler, and by him falling in love with another high school girl. What is the creative points in this, and how's it going to play out? And they have done it well. I love To Love Ru, and I cannot wait to see what else this anime has on the table. I'm going to have to give To Love Ru an A-. Honestly, animes like this, I understand why they get overlooked because of the comparison ratio. People get tired of these animes coming out the same way, being in the same tone, being in the same level of the character development design. But I feel like with To Love Ru, the producers and the director knew about all these animes being like this. So I feel as if this is an anime that needs to be watched. It needs to be praised. But I guess it was watched and praised enough, since we got 3 more series. Well, I got 3 more series to watch. Well, that's all I have to say for today. Please stay tuned for more of my to love brew reviews and videos headed your way. This is Hugo, your critic teacher, and you guys have a good day.